Awakening is beautiful. You become totally honest with yourself. You realize that you've seen the truth all along. You realize that you covered the truth up with lies. You made yourself believe so that you could survive the situations, so that you can survive a fairy tale that only existed in your mind, although it exists in everyone else's mind too. And somehow they add up to a huge, unbelievably realistic fairy tale that everyone believes in. Everyone has their own version of it though, but your version that you believed in, that was the most dangerous one for you. That fairy tale was the one that you created while you were growing up. It didn't allow you to be who you really are. That fairy tale kept you entertained. It gave you hopes. It gave you a future, things to look forward to, tasks to complete, all kinds of things to accomplish. But you were just fooling yourself. Your starting point was a lie. It was a belief. You lied to yourself. And that's the biggest lie you can do, to lie to yourself. So, when awakening, you wake up from this dream world, from this non-existent fairy tale that seemingly everyone believes in. It's a collective fairy tale. But once you wake up from your side of the fairy tale, your side of the dream, you realize that there is no one that would create any fairy tale anymore. Awakening allows you to discover that was an unbelievably strong hold. You held on to this fairy tale because you wanted to build a world that would match with your surrounding, that was created by your parents, by everyone else around you that believed already in their fairy tale by the time you gained a certain type of consciousness and intelligence as a child. One of the beautiful things of awakening is that you awaken out of the dream world. The other beautiful thing is that you recognize that yourself that you thought you were, that was connected to this fairy tale, that was the starting point of this fairy tale, that was the center of it, and that was the point where everything hit your world. That this starting point, this center, that was also just fabricated, and there is no one residing in your body that's not residing everywhere else around it, or regardless location. There's no one else located in this physical world that's a separate entity from anyone or anything. So you, as a separate entity, don't exist. You were just part of the fairy tale. It was a very complex dream. It was a very complex system built of a lot of very logistic components. So it was convincing. But the first point, when you were confronted by other people's fairy tales, you could see already that something wasn't right about it. But because the pressure was huge, and because that pressure was part of the fairy tale, you couldn't allow yourself to see the truth again. You couldn't allow yourself to stop believing in surviving the non-existent world. That picture that was painted in your mind was so strong. It seemed so real, and it had so many things to offer that you didn't want to take it away from yourself. You wanted to experience it. And you, as consciousness, have experienced it to the fullest. You are experiencing it right now too. You are experiencing everything that exists, including fairy tales, including a location, a time zone, including all the periods of your lifetime. So awakening is beautiful, because the second thing that you discover is that you do not exist. And that is the biggest relief that you can ever imagine. You cannot even imagine. That is the biggest relief that you can experience. When you wake up, you get to rest forever. It's like going on a never-ending vacation. You don't have to go anywhere anymore. You don't have to accomplish anything anymore. But you're not even limited anymore, so that you would have to go from one place to the other, because you include everything that there is. You include all the experiences, you include all the memories, everything from the past and the future and the present, timelessly. When you wake up, you as a separate entity is no longer living a life. You are simply being, as existence, as love, that overflows an unnameable place, that has no location, no boundaries. It's not in between people nor things. You are this infinite love, and nothing else matters. Finally, you rest. And this silence, that is more beautiful than anything you have ever imagined. This silence is like a symphony, and it's playing on uncountable instruments. Everything that appears is an instrument, and everyone that appears in it is also an instrument. And this harmony that you're listening to, it is actually you. You realize that that's what you are, without you being someone. This peaceful silence allows you to rest, and it allows you to party. Because this symphony can be silent and can be loud too, but nothing touches you anymore, because there's no one to touch. There's nothing that could harm what is. It just is. So you just are as that. And in this activity and in the silence, you can experience whatever you want. And there is everything. So this non-existent you that is infinite, infinitely full of joy, infinitely free, infinitely one with everyone. Gratitude is endless.